Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. And first, a local Tasmanian hero has begun the monumental journey to attend the Queen's funeral at Westminster Abbey. Retired police officer Kim Smith is honoured to have received the historic invitation. In a moment, he could barely believe.
Bags packed with a ticket in hand for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to bid farewell to the longest reigning monarch.
I said wow 3 or 4 times over the phone when I realised just the full extent of it, and I'm still finding out more now.
When a royal invitation to Her Majesty's funeral landed in Kim Smith's voicemail, he feared it might not have been the real thing.
The message came in and I listened to it. I wonder if this is a setup, if someone's playing a prank on me.
But the overwhelming recognition is sinking in for the retired police officer, handpicked by Anthony Albanese, his tireless community commitment and local hero award deeming him a worthy guest.
Take it very seriously. It is a huge honour, and I know my parents would have, who are now gone, but they would have loved to have seen this.
Kim will receive a briefing of the funeral plans tomorrow in Sydney before travelling with the Prime Minister to London, where he will proudly represent his home state.
It'll be good to be able to show my respects for the way she carried herself.
Tasmanian lawyer Greg Malik also overcome with emotion to be invited in his role as RSL's Australia President.
It's a great honour. Her Majesty was an amazing constant over many years. So it's almost very hard to believe she's gone.
Grace Evans, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania's upper house has been restored to 15 members, with the winner of the Pembroke by-election confirmed. The declaration of the polls took place today on the steps of the Legislative Council, with the victor, Labor's Luke Edmonds, and other candidates in attendance.
We went out, we worked hard, we listened, and then we formed our campaign about what our community was telling us. I feel like I've had a really solid endorsement from my community on that.
Luke's worked incredibly hard. He will be a great representative for the Eastern Shore, and he'll also make a great contribution to the Tasmanian Parliament.
His first sitting day will be September 27. Specially trained nurses are being touted as a possible solution to some of our healthcare challenges. With GP books filled and waiting lists long, nurse practitioners say they could lend a hand if rule changes are made to grow the workforce.
Christina Mullins is one of only 50 nurse practitioners in Tasmania.
We can provide scripts, we can provide diagnostics such as pathology and radiology.
Able to diagnose and treat patients with acute and chronic conditions, some say there could be one solution to our health woes. A shortage of GPs have plagued rural and regional areas, while even those in the cities have long waiting lists or closed books.
We can sort of augment that primary healthcare sector by providing diagnostics and treatment to those clients that can't get in to see their GP.
It's extremely important that we use the new roles that are developing to assist with this very issue. Running things the way they've always run is limiting healthcare. There's a bottleneck.
The Australian College of Nurse Practitioners says they could play a greater role if there were rule changes to make them more viable. They currently have limited access to Medicare rebates and are barred from prescribing medicines to some patients or signing off on some forms.
What was established in 2010 were only ever interim measures as reported by the government at the stage, but it's 12 years on and those interim measures have not yet been reviewed.
While peak medical bodies say they support nurse practitioners, they would prefer them to work collaboratively with doctors rather than on their own.
Let's fix some of the problems associated with general practice. Rather than try and replace a GP service with something different.
The federal government is developing a 10-year nurse practitioner plan to address issues with the workforce and enhance care delivery. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania's PACER program is celebrating a milestone, having assisted 1,000 people. The approach sees an emergency services team with specific training attend mental health related 000 calls. It has seen 80% of patients diverted away from a hospital visit.
Patients in acute mental health crisis often have poorer health outcomes when they present to an emergency department.
and that is for very obvious reasons about the incredibly stimulating environment.
If a person needs hospital and a hospital level care, that is okay, and that's something that PACER can support in a really safe, effective and compassionate way.
At this stage, it's a pilot program operational in the south with expansion plans for the rest of the state. Tasmanian firefighters are calling on the state government to step up and continue negotiation talks around pay disputes. The union warns regional areas could be left at risk unless an agreement can be reached sooner rather than later.
In the firing line, the state government is being called out by the United Firefighters Union for stalling negotiation agreements.
Firefighters are extremely angry and frustrated. They don't take these sorts of actions lightly.
Calling for better wages, superannuation and allowances for specialist training.
At the moment, it's a bit of a standoff because the government's not willing to meet with the union. It's about time we got wage growth in this state.
On average, Tasmanian firefighters earn $10,000 per annum less than their mainland counterparts.
The state can't afford not to pay public sector workers what they're worth, because if we don't, we're going to lose more of them.
However, Premier Jeremy Rockcliffe will hold a roundtable with public servant union leaders tomorrow.
This is about coming together, this is about listening, and this is about finding solutions.
I've got a few questions for him. His bargaining team refuses to meet with us and has done for quite a period of time, yet all of a sudden he's happy for us to go and meet with him.
The Premier now needs to prove that it will get better.
But firefighters are hopeful of a resolution.
Hoping, it'll be a positive step because we need to work through this. Firefighters want to get on with the job and certainly the community needs some surety.
Especially with bushfire season just around the corner. McKenna Bailey, 7 Tasmania News.
2 teenagers have been charged in relation to a suspicious fire at Newtown Woolworths. Emergency services were called to the site just after 1 p.m. yesterday and extinguished the blaze. However, the smoke damage caused up to $200,000 worth of damage. Police have obtained CCTV footage which they allege identifies the offenders. This year's Special Olympics National Games are back on track with more than 750 athletes preparing to compete in Launceston next month. Organisers are calling on volunteers to sign up and be an integral part of the event, to be held from October 17 to 22.
If you've got some hours to share and you want to come along and be a part of an iconic event, we've got room for you and we can't wait to make this Games the best ever. This is Launceston's chance.
It's just going to be fantastic. I have so many athletes from all around the country here, and to see what it's going to mean for our businesses, for our economy and for the public generally to be able to go out and watch all these athletes who are really excited to be here.
Locals looking to volunteer, known as Game Changers, can visit the Special Olympics National Games website to sign up. Tasmania's world-renowned produce will be taking up plates at the state's newest restaurant, bolstering local jobs in the process. The Longhorn Smokehouse is giving people a taste of American barbecue. It comes as part of Rest Point's more than $40 million transformation.
Most of our vegetables are coming from within 20 kilometres of the tower. We're quite proud of all of our produce coming from local suppliers and producers.
We've already recruited around about 40 people, between 14 kitchen staff and around 26 of the front of house staff, the restaurant staff. So we're really proud that this investment is actually bringing jobs into the community.
Foodies won't have to wait long to enjoy the offering, which is officially open for business on Friday. Launceston is celebrating all things music and art tonight with the Junction Arts Festival now underway. Our reporter McKenna Bailey is among the action at Princes Square. McKenna, what's the turnout like so far?
Kim, organisers are predicting the post-pandemic festival to return to pre-pandemic levels, with thousands descending on Launceston over the next 4 days. Tonight's headline act is Melbourne-based Sex on Toast, followed by DJ Rowdy. Event organisers say there will be something for everyone over the next few days, with a range of Tassie talent and interstate acts.
There's just so much to see here over the square, and I tried to put it in my diary about trying to get to see everything, and I have failed, but there is a lot to see, and it will be an extraordinary series of theatre, dance, live performances, music in and around the square So we encourage you to come along.
And good news, Kim, it's a beautiful night here at Princes Square. There's plenty to see and do, with the event wrapping up on Sunday. Kim.
Okay, enjoy. Thank you very much, McKenna.
Launceston is refusing to see Saturday's TSL Grand Final against Kingborough as a formality, despite it shaping as one of the most one-sided in the league's existence. The club is looking to history as a reminder of how much fortunes can change. Last year's TSL trophy may have a huge dent from the post-game celebrations, but there's barely a chink in the side's armour. Launceston's percentage is the best of any club in the league's 14-year history, and the Blues have beaten Kingborough by an average of 71 points this year. But one near disaster from way back still gives Mitch Thorpe shivers.
In 2013, we played Burnie in the last home and away game of the year, and we beat them by 95 points. We ended up playing them in the grand final and we only won by 7 points.
For Operation Remove Any Doubt, the Blues have taken to training with commando-like intensity.
Our boys are sore at the moment, which is exactly what we wanted to achieve.
Thorpe won't play, but has a full list at his fingertips, including the Devils NAB League players. Plus, Brodie Poufferman, fit and firing following his shoulder reconstruction and ready to take on the Tigers midfield, one he considers the toughest to face in the league.
Really good to go head-to-head with guys like Kieran Lovell, who's played at the top level, obviously. You can sort of take some tips and tricks off him.
Launceston is also going for the Development League flag against Clarence after surviving a scare against North Hobart in the prelim.
After half-time, all the boys just lifted in spirit. Obviously, we knew what was on the line, getting a spot in the grand final for the 3rd year in a row for the D-League.
But when it comes to the seniors, history now beckons, with the club's first three-peat since the 2000s up for grabs.
Grand finals have got that unique ability to bring out the best in every side.
Have we seen the best of this super team just yet? St Pat's has wrapped up the Tassie Hawks Cup between the best high schools in the state. The boys' side won 7-6-48 to St Virgil's 6 goals 1-37 at UTAS Stadium. St Pat's had only returned to the competition this year, advancing into the finals by beating Riverside High in the regional playoffs. And Richie Port has shared a heartfelt farewell to his career after the Queen's passing cut short his final race at the Tour of Britain. The Hadsman cyclist describing how he didn't have any clue at the time that the Tour of Britain would be his last as a professional cyclist. Adding he's ready to enjoy the next chapter, describing his career as a brilliant ride. Signing off with a quote from Forrest Gump, "I'm pretty tired. I think I'll go home now."
Good evening. Hobart, 16 degrees today. Launceston reached 15, a bit cooler for Burnie and Devonport. Straw now high with 17 as overnight temperatures drop well below average. Bushy Park got to 16 degrees today. Friendly Beaches, Grove, Smithton and the Bass Strait Islands all 15. St Helens 14, Lowhead 13 and Lyawini 7 degrees. Partly cloudy conditions over the north, accompanied by a few showers, but no significant falls today. A frontal cloud band is sweeping over South Australia, New South Wales and Victoria, ahead of a large area of low pressure south of the Bight. A little onshore cloud over the eastern states as well. Tomorrow we look wedged between the main weather systems with a decaying cold front set to cross during the day. North to northeasterly winds reaching 30 knots early over the west, but later for eastern Tasmania, lighter winds inland. Strong wind warning, that's from Flinders Island to Wineglass Bay, another from Tasman Island to South East Cape and also from Low Rocky Point to Stanley. 17 with a shower or two developing in Hobart, 16 the high for Cygnet, showers on the way as well. New Norfolk 3 overnight, 17 tomorrow. 16 the high for Launceston and showery, Devonport 14 degrees and 15 for Campbelltown with showers on the way. 13 the high for Burnie, 16 for Strawn, Smithton 14, all with showers. And for St Helens, showers developing, 16 the top, 17 for Swansea, 15 the high for Fingal, all with that same forecast. Here's Friday's look, showers more frequent over the east and northwest of the state. Showers again through the weekend as well, winds becoming light on Saturday night, and on Sunday showers at a 100% chance over the west, very high possibility over the north, quite likely elsewhere across the state. Further north and a shower for Perth and Adelaide, rain easing from Melbourne, rain forecast for Sydney, 19 the top there, and maybe a late shower for Brisbane. Well, we have rain on the way, but it's clear at the moment in Hobart, 11 degrees, 9 right now in Launceston and mostly clear in Devonport and 9 degrees. Kim, I have nothing more to add or subtract. It's very unusual from you. Thank you, Murph. Well, that is all your news for now. We'll be back later with updates. Thanks for your company. Good night.